About an hour outside of Detroit, Michigan is a large piece of land that to the average Joe probably wouldn't think anything of. Just a bunch of buildings and roads in the middle of Michigan. However, there's more to the story. This is General Motors' proving grounds.
Prototype sports car, after nearly 2 years of planning, designing, and pre-testing, and the individual efforts of hundreds of people, is a completed reality.
And even though it's not completely secret to the world, what lies inside the facility is top secret company information. GMC invited me up to this place to check out how they develop some of their vehicles in the modern age, the incredible future of towing, and how they tune suspension. So what lies inside the mysterious proving grounds? Let's talk about it.
By stylists, engineers, research and testing personnel, production experts, and individual craftsmen of 100 different skills.
Believe it or not, as I entered this place, they taped up my phone's camera, basically showing you they mean business. It almost feels like you're in a different country with its own rules, regulations, security. It's a really fascinating place to enter when you get on the shuttle to get into the proving grounds. Think of it as auto journalists potentially being spies or doing espionage for other companies in the auto industry. It's understandable that they don't want people taking pictures. I then arrived and was joined by other journalists, all there to try GMC's new supercruise. And I'm sure you're asking, well, what the heck is supercruise? Supercruise is GM's answer to things like Tesla's autopilot, and it's a hands-free system. And honestly, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I prefer it. During my trip to drive the Cadillac Blackwing, I actually got to use supercruise in the wild, and I was shocked how good the user interface was. Supercruise is more reliant on recorded hard data, which gives me way more peace of mind. GM has actually recorded up to 200,000 miles of road that the vehicle can recognize.
If it goes to blue, it means you weren't quite centered. So as we get centered, it's gonna go to green.
Okay.
So you're green, green means hands off. Green means hands off is okay. Blue means driver in control, meaning you're doing something. And red, if it goes from green to red, it means, hey, we need you to come back into the loop and be steering.
The system knows that you want to maintain 60 miles per hour. It knows he's doing 55. So it made the decision, hey, there's a lane over here that's open. Let's change lanes around him. And then it's going to bring us back to our original lane.
Turn signals on, everything.
Yep, turn
That's
signals
bizarre.
on.
It's one thing to talk about it, it's another thing to experience it. You know, I guess, well, I'm talking to you like this. This is weird. Okay, so I was gonna ask you, so how does it determine like what it sees? You know what I mean? Like with the lanes and everything, how does it know a lane is a lane?
So we've mapped about 200,000 miles of divided highways in the US and Canada.
Wow.
Those are LiDAR-based maps, and that map is stored in the vehicle. That map has a bunch of road information.
But it's not completely sold as autopilot. The driver is still involved, which is actually my #1 preference over Tesla's autopilot. The vehicle almost knows sometimes it's better for a human to be behind the wheel. I got to drive a GMC truck that had supercruise with towing, hands-free, and even automatic lane change. And the light bar system on the steering wheel is ingenious. Green means you are good to take your hands off the wheel. A blinking blue light on the steering wheel means you are in supercruise, but you are momentarily in control. Say if you want to manually change lanes. And blinking red gives you a warning to say, hey guy, you need to put your hands back on the wheel. There's also a very slight seat vibration that is a little weird to get used to at first, but it's a really good way to let you know that you need to be paying attention. I can tell you that with this option, the chore of driving long distances, say in the Midwest of the United States, I would be a lot more open to going to race events across the country with towing with supercruise. You don't really realize that just putting your hands on your lap for just a little bit makes all the difference sometimes when it comes to exhaustion. I then learned that GM now develops most of their product line up to 80% in a simulator. One small step for Hummer. This was the most immersive sim I've ever experienced. It takes up an entire room. No headset, nothing like that. All right, let's do it. You know what really brings you into immersion is you're worried about crashing a prototype car. Big bumps. Here we go. Meanwhile, a team of engineers work hard to save time on building products and just doing all the programming from the back room. The driver in the seat gives feedback to the engineers and say, hey, I think we should change this, or I think we could change that. And lo and behold, they get it done. The fact that I got to drive on GM's very own development simulator is a bucket list item as a car guy, and I still can't believe it. Last, I got a sneak peek of the new Hummer EV being in development and how it all works when tuning suspension. No more days of replacing parts manually. You can just program them. Using things like MagneRide and electronic suspension, if there's something you don't like, you can just program it out in milliseconds. It also uses a post system, which simulates different speeds and also different giant bumps and potholes. You can actually individually control the post system in order to get more effective tuning on the suspension. Are they operating the actuators, or are you operating?
They're operating the actuator, and I'm controlling our semi-active damper ECU.
Got it. So you're basically saying, okay, I'm going to change this little guy here.
I'm just saying, for what I'm doing right now, is I'm just looking at the vehicle speed, and I want to make sure that we're interpolating in the right tables.
Got it. The roof's pretty cool. Sorry, I'm just checking the car out. I haven't seen the inside yet. I love how it still captures the Hummer, like, I don't care. Like, how big it is. So when you're doing these tests, are you in the car like a long time, all day?
Yep.
Does this get really tedious after a while?
Depends on what you're tuning. If you're desert bombing in
like,
Arizona the last couple of days, then it's pretty fun.
Yeah.
We wanted to sway and kind of share with you the full authority of the suspension.
Okay, I'm down. Yeah, it's like,
So this is the same event. Just
it's weird because we're not moving forward, but simulating bumps, you know?
Yep. Okay, so now same exact input. Now
Okay.
I'm giving you full beans
Okay.
in the damper.
Oh yeah. Wow. That's insane. It went from like riding a roller coaster to like really casual, all out of nowhere.
The same input again, just dampers are now in front.
Oh yeah. Wow, that's such a difference. So I was gonna end this video here, but come to think of it, as I was driving around, I feel like I had to mention this at least. As I was driving around the proving grounds, I saw what I believe to be a very special sports car testing. And what was really funny was I was driving this AT4 Yukon around, and they were showing me everything about the Yukon, the new Yukon's off-roading capability and everything. And as I was driving this Yukon around, I heard something really glorious. So I'm pretty sure I saw that certain sports car being tested. And I looked over at my passenger from GMC, and he looked at me and he was like, I just thought it was a really funny story that he was like, nope, can't say anything. I know that you probably know what that is. Also, the Proving Grounds has this giant, massive skid pad that they call the Black Lake. And for this video, I couldn't carry my camera stuff around. I had to use their cameras. So all these angles, all these shots, they are all by General Motors' GoPros. That way, you know, I don't get the temptation to go film certain things. That way I don't have the ability to film certain things either on purpose or by accident. But the Black Lake is the ultimate testing facility, along with the giant loop that just goes on and on and on to test for high speed and for cruising capabilities. The Proving Grounds was one of my favorite places I've ever visited. It has a ton of engineering feats, incredibly smart people, and a really cool glimpse of what the future holds for the car industry. Guys, what do you think about things like supercruise towing, the Hummer EV? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. And on that note, I upload on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays, and I will see you guys next time, and take it easy. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye. This video is brought to you by Patterson Car Care. Get double of premium original detail product for half the price. Head over to PattersonCarCare.com or go to the link in the description below.